Hello everyone. Hello again. Let me introduce a new program on my channel, which is a news update during the live stream. Purely news update mainly. I plan to do these updates from Monday to Friday, if there is no technical issues. And as a second update, by the way. Middle of the day by Moscow time, approximately around 3 o'clock. And I will share news that Russian media reported. I will share some posts from my Telegram channel, maybe Twitter X. So it's gonna be packed with the news, these live streams. And towards the end of the stream, last 5-10 minutes, I will devote to possible questions on Patreon. Questions or commentaries that members of our community want to highlight on Patreon or Boosty, or if I receive some questions on PayPal. This is not a traditional Sunday live stream, which is more like community chat. This is purely news update, but last 5-10 maybe 15 minutes, if there is questions, I will try to answer to those questions. So I hope I explain idea of this program well enough, although I will maintain, of course, I will maintain traditional Sunday live stream as a community chat, and also I will try to maintain Wednesday live stream also as a community chat, so we can have an opportunity to exchange opinions in real time. That's been said. Let's talk about news now, and let's start this program. Today is, of course, still 22nd of July. Now it's 3 o'clock, middle of the day by Moscow time. And first news that I like to share with you is about statements of press spokesman of the Russian president, Dmitry Peskov. He commented on recent information that Zelensky is open for negotiations with Moscow. I translated this statement of Peskov to be more precise, so I will read it for you. So, statements by Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky about the possibility of negotiations with Moscow are better than a refusal of the negotiations, but we should wait for specifics. If they follow the press secretary of the Russian head of the state, Dmitry Peskov, told the reporters while commenting on this topic, and then quote, "In general, this is of course better than statements that any contacts with the Russian side and with the head of the Russian state are excluded." So basically, Peskov highlighted that, of course, this initiative from Zelensky is better than refusal of the negotiations. Peskov said, in his opinion, of course, talking in one tone or another about dialogue is much better than talking about the intention to fight to the last Ukrainian. End of quote. He also said that what exactly is behind these words of Zelensky about the possibility of negotiations, what specific plans are being discussed, and what actions in this direction. If the conversation is serious, we cannot yet judge. Peskov said he believes that here we need to wait for some concrete actions, if any. Earlier, in an interview with the BBC Broadcasting Corporation, Zelensky stated that it is possible negotiations to take place with Russian President Vladimir Putin, despite the decree in force in Ukraine, which is banning such negotiations. Or maybe EU regime will make some changes in its own legislation, so that negotiations will not be banned. But it is as Peskov highlighted, it is good to talk about possible negotiations and maybe even conduct negotiations than continue this hostility. So that's Moscow's reaction. Also, we have a statement from RIA Novosti, information from RIA Novosti about statements of head of DPR, Donetsk People's Republic, Denis Pushilin. He spoke about situation in Krasnogorovka and said that Russian forces are continuing advances in this settlement, second biggest settlement in Avdiivka direction after in Donetsk direction, by the way, after Avdiivka. And Donetsk, obviously. And unfortunately, dear friends, there was a shelling of the Donetsk today from Kiev regime's forces, and according to the reports that I see, one civilian was killed, several civilians were wounded as a result of this yet another terrorist attack on civilians by Zelensky and his forces. And when it comes to Krasnogorovka, which is on the southern flank of Donetsk sector, of course, Russian troops, as Pushilin highlighted, are continuing advances, and most likely before end of this week, Krasnogorovka will be under full Russian control. Right now, only parts of Krasnogorovka the Kiev regime is still controlling is this small northern western corner of the city, and that's it. So therefore, I expect Krasnogorovka to become under full Russian control before end of this week. Also, by the way, we have a very interesting news about counter-terrorist work of the Russian FSB security service. Plot was, I translated this information also, so let me give you more details. So Russian FSB uncovers illegal explosive deliveries to Russia. The Russian security service uncovered the plot to send explosives and detonators in parcels from Italy and Germany to Russia, hidden in the cavities of the auto parts. The people involved in the terrorist attack plot, who were reportedly supervised by Roman Mashovets, deputy head of Zelensky's office, had been detained. European special services have been required to identify the terrorists, organizers, and their accomplices, but there has been no response yet from European security services, which is sad, obviously. So basically, I can show you this video, by the way. This is a video of detention of these people that were involved in this terrorist plot, and this is these parcels in which these detonators and explosive materials were transferred from Germany and Italy to Russia. And as Russian FSB is stating, Zelensky's office was involved there in this terrorist activity, which is not surprised at all. Absolutely not. Unfortunately, state institutions of Ukraine actively using terrorist methods against Russia, and also unfortunate that European secret services, in this particular case, German secret services and Italy secret services, as I understand, refuse to cooperate with the Russian side. Can you imagine how much harm to civilians Zelensky's regime will do with this volume of detonators, explosive materials, and so on? Well done to FSB. Counter-terrorist groups of FSB are working 24/7, by the way, to protect safety and security of Russian citizens, society, and country, that's for sure. We are receiving on daily basis reports about this active work of FSB. Also, Kommersant newspaper is reporting that government of Czech Republic is looking for some additional money, by the way, to provide Kyiv regime with more munition, more artillery shells, and Foreign Minister of Czech Republic Jan Lipavsky made a statement that Prague is intent to deliver before end of this summer 100,000 different type of munition to Kyiv regime, which is unfortunate. But well, we all know perfectly well about the level of involvement of NATO member states in this proxy war against Russia. So yet again, not really surprising information. I will just add that a couple of weeks ago, I reported about difficulties that Czech government is experiencing in terms of accumulating some funds for promised million artillery shells to Kyiv regime. So let's hope they would not be able to fulfill this promise. Also, Vzhlyad newspaper is reporting about statement of representative of the NATO, Farah Dakhlala, about readiness, high alert of high readiness of 500,000 NATO military personnel right now. And this person, it's her, so she, Farah Dakhlala, also stated that NATO undergo significant changes since 2014. Some reforms were implemented, and as a result of that, any given time, some 500 NATO military personnel is ready for action. I don't think this is true, by the way. I think this is fake news. A NATO official is trying to inflate numbers because right now, in my personal opinion, only US may be able to deploy couple of 100,000 troops on the battlefield there in like 3 to 6 months time. When it comes to European member states of NATO, they barely will be able to deploy a couple of thousand, maybe like a couple of dozens of thousands of troops in a 3 to 5 months time frame. So therefore, this is absolutely fake news. In my personal opinion, that NATO has 500,000 military personnel on high readiness at any given time. No, this is fake, but yet again, that's what NATO officials are saying, and the Russian media pays attention to it. Also interesting news that British sailor was arrested in United Kingdom and under allegations that this person stolen secret documents. So there is no name of the individual, but this person was serving on Vanguard nuclear power station, and the military police find on his phone some classified information about movements of the Vanguard, about movements of the British nuclear submarine fleet. As far as I know, UK only has like 4 Vanguard submarines, and only 1 or 2 are battle ready at any given time. But it is interesting that level of discipline is such in UK's Navy that people are freely stealing some classified documentation. I don't know for what purposes this sailor was did it, but I would not be surprised at all if in upcoming days UK's military police or secret services will make statement that Russia was involved one way or another, even if Russia is not, by the way, because that's what usually happens. They always have to mention Russia, no matter what is going on. But well, interesting news. This is, after all, this is a nuclear fleet of UK, by the way, and if discipline is so low, that definitely raises questions, because this is not some ordinary submarine. This is nuclear powered, nuclear capable submarines. Also, by the way, RT is reporting that Musk thanks Soros for unveiling next puppet. So Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk has mocked George Soros and his son for quickly endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris as the most qualified candidate we have, this is quote by the way, to replace Joe Biden. The US president announced on Sunday that he has quit the race to become a Democratic Party candidate for the November 5th elections, and that he would back Harris instead. So yes, I can understand Musk is coming from, because well, in no ways anybody probably in US really thinks Kamala Harris is a good replacement to anybody really on a high-ranking position. People like her should never be eligible for any high-ranking official, any high-ranking position at all, ever. But in modern US, she was a vice president, and theoretically speaking, she might even become a president if she will be main Democratic candidate. And to continue on this topic, Vzglyad newspaper is reporting about statement of US billionaire entrepreneur David Sachs, who said that coup d'etat took place in the US. When I read this information, I was thinking, did David Sachs is listening to my videos or some because that was exactly what I was saying for quite a while now, isn't it? That administrative coup d'etat took place inside the establishment of Democrats, and seems like David Sachs has very same opinion. He wrote about it on his Twitter X account. So yes, you know what? Let me translate this news also. And dear friends, probably it will be better if I will make this second live streams or second news updates during the live stream, more like informal talk style. So American billionaire David Sachs, commenting on Joe Biden's refusal to participate in the elections, said that the US president was overthrown by a coup d'etat. Sachs on their social network X, formerly Twitter, accused Biden of turning the United States into banana republic by prosecuting his electorate rival. According to Sachs, now, like a banana republic, Biden has been overthrown in a coup d'etat. What goes around comes around, Sachs said, and he has a point, by the way. He has a point, undoubtedly. Unfortunately, I will say, unfortunately for the world, by the way, not just for US citizens, but for the world, US more and more resembles to some sort of banana state. I mean, you tell me what is your opinion on this, but some things are happening in US that are not supposed to happen in an independent, truly independent, sovereign, developed state. For example, political prosecution of their political opponents. And in US, exactly that has happened. Not just against Trump, by the way, but other independent candidates or candidates from smaller parties also definitely experienced some pressure and sort of segregation, which is a part of this political system, which is definitely a result of having such political system when you only allow two parties, formally different but in reality uniparty, to exist. and dominate. But anyways, let's continue. RT is reporting that Africa's largest oil refineries seeking crude from Libya, according to information of Reuters. Nigeria's Dangote refinery is in negotiations with Libya to secure crude oil for its 650,000 barrel per day plant. Reuters reported on Sunday, citing Dawakam Mar Edwin, a senior executive of the company. The move comes aimed at insufficient domestic supplies for their 20 billion facility. Unbelievable, by the way, that for refinery, to build that refinery, some 20 billion US dollars were spent, and it's not really working in full capacity now. As Africa's largest oil producer faces the pipeline vandalism and inadequate investments. So due to some pipeline vandalisms, inadequate investments, Africa's richest country, by the way, when it comes to oil reserves, are unable to supply this oil refinery with significant enough volume of oil, which is a shame for sure. And now this company is seeking additional oil supplies from Libya. RT is reporting that African state faces a cacao crisis. Ghana, which is second largest beans producer. So Ghana is facing cacao production crisis after a major outbreak of swollen shoot disease. The issue in the world's second largest cacao producer has triggered fears of a knock-on effect for global prices, which have already seen recent spikes. Significant cacao production area in the Western African countries, 81% infected with the disease, according to cacao market report released by the International Cacao Organization. The disease has significantly impacted cacao prices, which have nearly doubled this year due to unfavorable weather conditions and disease outbreaks in Ghana and fellow leading producer, the Ivory Coast. Reuters reported on Thursday. Together, the two states produce about 60% of world's cacao. So if these two countries are not able to produce enough cacao or planned levels of to harvest planned levels of cacao beans, then well, expect not just doubling but possibly tripling of the prices on the chocolate and everything basically, where cacao is used. Unfortunate news for Ghana, for Ivory Coast, and for chocolate lovers. Interfax is also reporting that Brent crude oil is increasing in its price and reach $83.08 for a barrel, which is good news, by the way. Good news for oil producer countries, including Russia, because Russia's Urals oil, for example, Urals grade oil price is based, at least partially based on prices on Brent. So yes, if Brent is becoming more expensive, Russian Urals is becoming more expensive, and Russia is making more money, and Russian companies, which is good. RIA Novosti is also reporting that organizer committee of Olympic Games refused to issue accreditation to reporters of the RIA Novosti news agency, which is yet another step of this International Olympic Committee, and also hosting government of the hosting nation, in this particular case France, to destroy Olympic movement at all, because Earlier, we already received information that some 100 journalists, among them majority from Russia and Belarus, were also refused to receive accreditation, and they were not allowed to work on Olympics. Now RIA Novosti as journalists. So okay, if that's what French government thinks is good for promotion of the French Olympics, then well, let them continue in this way, by the way, and we will see numbers. I expect numbers for views of this Olympics, 2024 Summer Olympics, probably will be record low. Convinced about that. We will find out, isn't it? And also, by the way, Kommersant newspaper is reporting that according to Financial Times, companies that are connected with Russia went on a buying spree on the world market when it comes to vessels that are capable of carrying LNG. And Financial Times is reporting that these companies that many of them which are registered in United Arab Emirates brought about 50 such vessels to transport liquefied natural gas. And of course, Financial Times is also reporting that Russia has this shadow fleet of hundreds of vessels to transport oil, gas, liquefied natural gas to avoid Western sanctions, which may be true. But Russia does whatever is in best interests of Russia, and if it's necessary to use some sort of shadow fleet, then that's how it's gonna be. And the Financial Times is also complaining that prices on vessels, relatively old vessels, are increasing because of this buying spree of the companies that are, according to, allegedly connected with Russia. For example, Financial Times is reporting that vessel that was cost 50 million in 2007 is price on that very same vessel is 80 million US dollars right now. So significant jump in prices also. Okay, understandable. When there is a high demand, prices usually are increasing. And yes, this is when it comes to Russian media reports. And dear friends, how long is this live stream? Anyways, let me share with you some more news that I posted on my Telegram. And towards the end of this stream, I will check Boosty, I will check donation alerts. Links are on this video in description box, and if I see any comment or question, of course I will read it. So this is quite interesting news, by the way. Massive migrant caravans sets off for US border from Mexico's south. Around 3,000 people from a dozen countries left Mexico's southern border on foot on Sunday, headed for the US. AP reports. Some of those people told their outlet that they hope to make it to the States before elections are held in November, out of fear that Trump will win and close the border to asylum seekers. Well, that may well happen. If Trump will win elections, probably he will organize border better way than it was during the Biden's administration. When one may even argue that there is no longer border between US and Mexico, it's just widely open. Also, by the way, also interesting news that annual war games kick off in Taiwan, aiming to mimic actual combat. Their Hong Kong exercises began on Monday and will simulate how to repel Chinese attack. Reuters reports the drills will last 5 days and are happening in conjunction with the civil defense exercises, where the streets of major cities are evacuated for half an hour during the simulating missile attacks. Once again, there is a risk, of course, unfortunately, and I'm afraid this risk will increase if Biden wins tandem will win election, that US will use Taiwan in a similar way as Ukraine was used as a proxy to provoke war against China in case of Taiwan. And I don't know, Taiwanese leadership should study Ukraine's example if they really care about people that are living in this Chinese island, Taiwan. Also, by the way, this is quite something. This is advertised of Chinese militaries to recruit more people. Of course, drones were deployed, hundreds of drones, if not thousands, to do this light show. Quite impressive, isn't it? Quite impressive. Yeah, I have not seen this kind of recruitment advertising ever, so yeah, I paid attention to it, and I posted on my Telegram channel this short video. Also, by the way, Netanyahu plans to meet with Trump during his visit to US, advisor to Israeli Prime Minister stated, and he is on his way right now to US. And this morning in the first update, I mentioned that Netanyahu tomorrow will have a meeting with Biden, and according to reports, he will also make his speech before US legislators, and well, I think he will receive standing applause from US lawmakers. Just mark my word, by the way. And very same lawmakers, by the way, then we'll start talk about human rights, how precious life is, and then so on. So it's gonna be illustration, yet another illustration of US political class, of course, how fake they really are. Also, by the way, I shared this information that joint exercises of the Russian Navy and the Iranian Navy started in the Caspian Sea. Caspian Sea is, of course, landlocked sea. It's a lake, basically, just a huge lake. And several countries are, of course, on the coast of this huge lake, Caspian Sea. Russia, obviously, Azerbaijan, Iran, Turkmenistan, and Kazakhstan. So Russian and Iranian Navy exercises are taking place now in this area, which is interesting, by the way. Whenever I see information about cooperation of Russia and Iran, I'm happy about it, and I believe this north-south trade route that connects Russia with Iran and then with the global south in general, Middle East and global south, this trade route has huge potential, and therefore, of course, further improvement in cooperation between Russia and Iran is very important for both countries and for a region in general, for emerging multipolar world in general, I will say. Also, I share this video, by the way, of destruction of yet another HIMARS MLRS system, US-made multi-launch rocket system, HIMARS, which can launch medium and long-range missiles from 150 to 300 kilometers. Well, that's a result of Russian missile strike. Iskander-M missile was used by Russian forces to destroy this location of the key regime's military vehicles and the personnel. Successful strike. And of course, of course, I shared also information about decision of the organizers of Olympic Games that they are going to ban RIA Novosti's reporters also from Olympics. This is crazy, by the way. This is crazy. French government is embarrassing itself for sure, and so-called International Olympic Committee also. And well, I shared also this information that EU Council extends all sanctions against Russia for additional 6 months until January 31st, 2020. Until 2025, yes. Then I shared today's first update from military summary. Also, this is the video of those detonators and explosive materials that Russian FSB seized. I spoke about it earlier during this live stream. Also, press spokesman of the Russian president, Dmitry Peskov, commented on Biden's decision to withdraw from presidential race. And he said Biden's decision to withdraw from the presidential race is not a priority topic on the Russian agenda. The Kremlin will not make an assessment. This issue should concern American voters. First of all, that's the position of Kremlin. Understandable position. Why would Moscow really care about it? Also, I shared this video, by the way. This is Russian Air Force's strike on point of concentration of Kiev regime forces in Zaporozhye direction. This is Rizdvanka settlement. This is FAB strikes, of course. Then I share this information, which is also interesting, that one of the most dangerous and active volcanoes in Japan awakened, the Sakurajima volcano, by the way, and ashes from eruption of this volcano reach 4 kilometers height, or 4,000 meters height. Probably more at this point, and well, nice view, one may say, epic view, but dangerous one, because as you can see, there is of course settlements around this volcano. So of course emergency services will actively monitor situation to make sure that civilians are not harmed, and let's hope there will be no harm done to civilians. Also, Russian Air Forces strike, by the way, on points of concentration of Kiev regime forces in Lipsy. This is Kharkov region, of course. So quite precise group strike of at least 3 or 4 FAB 500s. Also interesting news. Eyeball exoplanet maybe the best bet for founding alien life. So scientists from the University de Montreal believe that a massive exoplanet almost twice the size of Earth and only 48 light years away. Only 48 light years away. That's a good stuff. Could be the best chance of finding alien life. The LHS 1140b eyeball-looking planet, this one, by the way, is believed to be between 10 to 20% of water, could have an average 20 degrees surface Celsius temperature due to nitrogen-rich atmosphere, and orbits. This planet orbits a low-mass red dwarf star in fifth the size of the Earth Sun. So that's how this planet looks like. Quite a strange look, by the way. I wonder how scientists are finding out how these planets on 50 light year away or 100 light years away are looking. There are some technologies there, I know. lights that are coming into this to Earth, that and then are captured by these space telescopes. The shifting lights probably indicates the presence of Saturn elements on those planets. That's one of the methods. But yes, I mean, quite a strange looking planet, by the way. And yes, maybe there is alien life there, who knows. Also, by the way, report of Russian Defense Ministry that another Leopard tanker bites the dust. Russian Defense Ministry reported about destruction of another Leopard tanker during their special military operation somewhere on the line of contact. And the Defense Ministry also reported that combined casualties of the Kiev regime forces during the previous 24 hours were more than 1,900 military personnel killed and wounded, which is a huge number, obviously a huge number. And many members of our community probably noticed that in last 2 to 3 months, average casualty number on part of Kiev regime forces, according to Russian Defense Ministry, is about 1,500 to 2,000 military personnel, which is of course a huge casualties on part of Kiev regime. And I also shared this family photo of Elon Musk, Stella, Assange shared their happy snap with Julian and their kids on the beach after WikiLeaks co-founder was released. So let's wish her happiness and a peaceful, quiet life to this wonderful family. And to be strong, by the way, and to be strong, because, you know. So yes, this is, I guess this is it. Then I shared the announcement of today's this news live stream, first episode. And dear friends, if these programs will be popular among among members of our community, of course I will continue to make these programs, as I said, middle of the day here by Moscow time. And I will share news from media, also news that I posted on my Telegram. And as I said, towards the end of the live stream, last 5, 10, 15 minutes, if there will be any questions through PayPal, Boosty, or my Patreon, I will answer to those questions. If there will be commentary that members of our community wants to be highlighted during this live stream, I will highlight those commentaries. And if not, then I will end the stream after a news update, like I'm gonna do it right now, because I just checked Boosty and donation alerts, and there was no donations, no comments there, no nothing. So thank you very much, everybody, for your attention and support, for your time and comments. By the way, I can see chat. As I said, this is not a community chat. Community chat will be on Sunday, but I'm very grateful for your activity, dear friends, in the chat, for your comments. Thank you all, and of course many thanks to all the members of our community who will watch this video in recording later on. And dear friends, because I'm unable to do live streams simultaneously on my on YouTube and Rumble, I will publish on Rumble recordings of this video in about hour, 2 hours time after the live stream. So this is it for now. Thank you all for your attention once again. And dear friends, YouTube is destroying today's first update. It has very low view numbers, or at least that's what YouTube shows. And if you have not seen that first update, please check it out. There was plenty of interesting news there also. So okay, I hope you find this video interesting also, and if so, please click that like button, leave some commentary, just about anything. And if you find my work interesting and useful, if you want to support, you can do it through PayPal, Boosty, or by subscribing to my Patreon. All the links are under this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. This is it for now. Have a great day and